These amps, like this, could be the most important invention in hi-fi since the transistor. I kid you not.
Really good.
It completely changes things. So sit down, grab a cup of coffee, and let's talk about how these amps are changing the entire hi-fi industry and how you can hack them to get even better performance. When I was a kid, this, my friends, was my first receiver. 12 watts per channel. I paid about $100 used for this same model of receiver in the 80s. While it wasn't the first hi-fi product I had ever purchased on my journey, it was the first proper hi-fi product. Today you can get a bunch of these Class D amplifiers for around the same price. The difference is these are putting out 70, 80, 200 watts per channel, depending upon the power supply. These amplifiers, in a way, can be hacked with this, or even this. So let's hack these amps. But first, a word from our sponsor to keep you from getting hacked yourself. Do you need a VPN?
Well, yes.
Do you want to get hacked?
N-O.
That's why you need to go to nordvpn.com/cheapaudioman. Say
Yes!
to some extra internet security. If you are watching me on public Wi-Fi, you need to listen to today's sponsor, NordVPN. We have all seen people's YouTube channels get hacked. I know one of the guys whose channels got hacked. And a great way to protect yourself is to use a quality VPN. So go to nordvpn.com/cheapaudioman. And if you use my link and sign up for the 2-year plan, you get 4 months for free. NordVPN provides its customers with a 30-day guarantee. So if you're not satisfied with the services, you got nothing to lose. It is terrible. How many people are out there trying to take advantage, trying to get your passwords? NordVPN is way more than just a VPN. Threat protection. It shields you from malware, trackers, ads. A dark web monitor, so if your information is linked, you know it. I have it downloaded on my phone. Actually, I'm being protected right now. See, when I'm vacationing in the beautiful Mayan Riviera, I can watch all my favorite shows back in the United States of America because I can log in from the US. And with NordVPN, one membership covers up to 6 devices. So run on over to nordvpn.com/cheapaudioman and please sign up. I have been freaking out about online security and I've been thrilled with NordVPN. That's why you need to go check out nordvpn.com/cheapaudioman. And if you sign up for the 2-year plan, you get 4 months for free. Thank you, NordVPN, for sponsoring today's video. These are not expensive amps, and some of the op amps I'm going to talk about today can be fairly expensive, especially when you're buying multiple op amps. And I was talking to one of my patrons, which, by the way, we have an awesome community and you should check it out. It's patreon.com/cheapaudioman. We were talking about doing upgrades on an amplifier that turn out to be more expensive than the amplifier itself. Kind of like when I was 16 and I had a $600 stereo and a $500 car. But you see, that's kind of the point. When you're first starting out your hi-fi journey, you may not have a lot of money. I know I didn't. And with a product like a Fozzy Audio ZA3 or an Ayima A07 Max, you can get started right away with the product. But then you can hot rod the heck out of it. You can spend a little or you can spend a lot. And in my experience, you will hear a difference. My son has a Mazda Miata. He loves it. It's kind of a running joke because every time we talk, we're talking about the next thing that he's upgrading. Sway bars, coil overs, short shifter, steering wheel extension. There's so many things that you can do to that car to upgrade it, and I think in car culture, everybody upgrades their cars. But in our culture, the hi-fi, the audiophile culture, people always get in the comments and say, why would you spend X amount of money to upgrade a $150 amp? Why not just spend that on something used? Well, because not everybody has that money up front. And these can also be run in mono and stereo. So initially you can run them in stereo. When you get more money, you can run them in mono. And when you save up more money, you can upgrade the op amps. The thing about it is though, all these op amps sound different or they have a different flavor. But I think I've found the one that I like the best. Did a little comparison on the Faziodio ZA3 with 3 different op amps. The Sparkos dual op amp SS, 3602. The Burson Audio V5ID. And this Texas Instruments 1656. And the ones that came in the ZA3, the 5532, also from Texas Instruments. One does not need to change out all 5 op amps, and I didn't. I only changed out 3. Frankly, I really only needed to change out 2. Depends on whether you're listening through XLR or RCA. So you can keep your upgrade costs down by only buying the necessary amount of op amps. Board in the Faziodio ZA3, really well done. It's labeled so you know exactly which op amp you're changing out. I don't think you need to change out the subwoofer op amps, personally. The stock 5532 op amps have a very clean, even dynamic sound compared to something like the Faziodio V3. I don't know what op amps are in the Faziodio V3. You can change those out as well. The reason why I like the ZA3 though is because you can run it in mono. So you can add an additional amplifier, improve channel separation, and have a dedicated power supply to each amplifier. Anyway, that's another video. So the stock op amps, super clean. But you don't really know how they sound until you change them out and compare them. What I did was put them on an amp switcher. So I used the Akatika preamp because it can output to both amplifiers A and amplifiers B at the same time, so I could use the same source. The source was the SU1. It's a DAC from SMSL, about $80. I had a Weem Pro going into the SU1, going out to the amplifiers via RCA, then into the amp switcher, and then into these really good PSB Alpha 3 speakers. That's gonna be another video. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe because I got a lot to say about this PSB speaker. The 1656 takes everything the stock op amp 5532 does and turns it up to 11.
These got to 11.
More clarity, more dynamics, more concentration on the top end. If you're into cleanliness, you like to hear that reverb and the acoustic guitar just hang out for a half a second longer, then the 1656 may be the op amp for you. There's not a huge difference between the stock op amp and the 1656, but there is one. The problem with the 1656 is it does not come on a DIP 8, and the DIP 8 is how you plug the op amp into the amplifier. There will be sockets on the amplifier board that are DIP 8, means 8 pins. The 1656, at least from my research, comes on a smaller chip that won't actually fit into the op amp receiver, but I did find some options where the 1656 was already soldered onto that traditional DIP 8 connection. The prices varied widely. If you're buying just a small chip, like $2. Some of the ones connected to a DIP 8 connector were $17 to $50 a piece. If you can find them new, it's a great way and an inexpensive way to start to roll these op amps and change out the sound a little bit. The V5i. All right, now we're gonna warm things up a little bit. This is a smooth operator. So you're gonna lose clarity, but you're gonna gain flavor. And that flavor is caramel. So if you have a speaker that's a little bit harsh, you wanna calm things down a little bit, the Burson Audio V5i is the way to go. These are all dual op amps, by the way. So there's mono op amps and dual. For the Faziodio you want the dual. To get 2 of the V5Is, it's $79. $50 if you only want to get 1. So you save a little money by getting 2. What really surprised me the most was how similar I thought these Burson audios were to this Nagaoka phono cartridge. And that's kind of the vibe I get from changing out op amps. It's like changing out the phono cartridge on your turntable. But if you want that laid back sound, the Burson is definitely the way to go. I have 2 extra ones because Sparkos was nice enough to send me 5 of these SS3602 op amps. And this is far and away my choice for the op amps I'm going to leave in this amplifier long term. The biggest reason why is intensity and soundstage. Basically all of the placement in space, things like center image, things like soundstage height, were very noticeable when comparing the Sparkos to the stock op amps already installed on the Fozzy Audio ZA3. Livelier, punchier. I just did a review on the Advanced Paris A10 Classic, and I described it, and if you want to watch it, I'll put it right up here. How I described that amplifier was it was lively. And that's really the vibe I get from these Sparkos op amps. The Sparkos op amps come in, looks like $79.80 a piece. If you buy 3 of them, that's an extra $240 basically. Is it worth it? In my opinion, yes. Even on a speaker that may not resolve everything perfectly, there's still an immediate difference in the center image. The center image, I'm on my desk right here. The center image is pretty much at camera angle, so where you are watching me. Anyway, when I switched it to the amp with the Sparkos op amps in it, the center image just went boop, and then things got deeper and things got wider and way more dynamic. It was almost like a switch on a home theater receiver when you toggle DRAC or one of the DSP settings on and off to make things a little bit wider. It was that much of an improvement. Bass impact, also greater, but cleaner. So you're getting more separation in instruments, a bigger soundstage, a higher center image, a deeper soundstage, more bass impact. Highs were also cleaner and a bit airier, more of an intense sound. It almost pulls you in and makes you listen because it's so dynamic and has so much life. It's truly amazing what the Sparkos can do to this ZA3. It really takes it to the next level. I could go crazy with these comparisons, but it's been a lot of fun just switching out these op amps and comparing them to the stock amplifier. Super broad strokes. The 1656 adds a little bit more space and air. Sonically, not incredibly different from the installed op amps. Burson, super warm, super laid back. Sparkos, intense, larger, more immersive. And in my opinion, the Sparkos just levels up that hi-fi experience. And if you don't have a perfect room or you listen at lower volumes, the Sparkos is going to be a great way to get more immersive sound. And not a huge premium. So these different op amps, these discrete op amps that Burson and Sparkos are making, these Texas Instruments op amps, really give us, the audiophile, the customer, so many different ways to listen to our amplifiers. This is like tubes, but not terrible. And you have actual power from these really good.
It's really good. You want some?
Class D amplifiers. If you're looking for a way to build out your system incrementally, the ZA3, the A07 Max from IEMA, the V3 from Fozzy Audio, perfect foundation. You can add another one, and then you can start rolling these op amps because it is a blast. And if you don't damage your op amps, you can actually resell them if you don't love them. So, if you want to support the channel, you can sign up for Patreon, patreon.com/cheapaudioman. You can use the links in the description. I don't have an affiliate relationship with Sparkos or Burson or Texas Instruments, really. Please make sure you like this video and subscribe if you got any value out of it. You can use the thanks button down at the bottom of the video. Send a few dollars my way. Buy me a cup of coffee, but don't feel compelled to buy me anything. So don't binge watch anything on Netflix or Hulu. Binge listen, maybe through your new favorite op amp, and fill your soul with happiness. And with that, I'm Randy. I'm the Cheap Audio Man.